celebration for when you come in. The celebration is at 4:30 p.m. in your market. You got it right, but not on the fifth floor. We're going downstairs.
Yeah, I know.
Forgive me, all I can that little wind-blown area. We love that.
Thank you. Around it this way, go down the line. Small to your right. Perfect.
Can you chin down just a little bit because of the highlights and your glasses?
Oh, yeah, like this. You mean like this?
Yeah, just your chin down a little bit. Yeah. Thanks so much. And then one more in front, please. Thank you for this gentleman.
Yes, right here. Right here. And right here, nice eye contact. Look at yours, make it happen. There you go, hand on the hip. Give me a hand on the hip. There you go, there you go. Oh, no, come on.
Here we go.
Can I get my hand on the hip? Sure. There we go.
And to your left, please.
And right back this way.
And down right here. To your left, real fast. To your left.
Daughter right next to him, please. Thank you very much. One more here.
To the right. To your left. To your left.
And to your left.
To the left. No.
There you go.
Are the kids coming tonight?
You know,
Because he's in it, right?
no, I never know. Oh, you know. He's kind of busy right now during the season. They make him do stuff. Here we go, sir. And big swirl this way. Beautiful. And big swirl. Beautiful.
You're right back here to your left. And one more left. Thank you, Don. One more here.
And what else? Big swirl. And what else? This way.
And right here again. There we go.
Let's use since we got on. We just do one more photo right here.
All right.
Lev didn't get it.
Just have you stand right here.
Later, right.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
One more? Thank you. I appreciate your help.
That's okay. I do, you know, it's kind of. Thank you so much. Of course, I'm sure. Of course. It's really, you know, just being people in the training
No, I don't remember.
All right, next time, my eye contact. There we go. Reach back.
Right there, right there. Wait, yeah. Thank you.
Maybe stand right there.
So here we are, another Ryan Murphy horror series. Tell me about this one, and what was it that you guys were able to create with Grotesquerie?
I think we were trying to look at what the world feels like now: chaotic, dangerous, unpredictable, pandemic, political instability, emotional instability everywhere, societies breaking down, economic upheaval, and thus the horror of Grotesquerie.
Now, obviously, this one is a little perfect for the season, obviously Halloween season, but also I'm looking at Donna Kelsey right here. You got a special guest star in this one. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's kind of wondrous. That was a Ryan get, and Travis was just as smooth as ice. I mean, he really came in word perfect. He knew how to do it. There was no nerves. It was like, as I say, a professional athlete knowing how to do everything else.
And then lastly, you talked about how this kind of mirrors some of the stuff that's happening today. Tell me a little bit more about the show.
Well, it takes place in a small town on the edge of the desert in California, in which a series of terrible crimes keep happening, and one tired, booze-filled cop on the edge of retirement, a black woman in an odd culture, tries to uncover what actually is going on. And that's the show.
A little bit of a mystery, a little bit of horror.
It's a lot of mystery and a great deal of horror. Unspeakable horror.
American Horror Story, Unspeakable?
I think in a different way, if not worse than equal to.
Or better.
Well, I don't want to diss American
I mean
Horror Story.
better horror.
No, I think the horror is a lot in it.
Brilliant, man. Can't wait. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm John.
Nice to meet you, John.
Yep. How are you today?
I'm good.
All righty.
22 rolling.
All right, so we're here to talk about your Hallmark movies. No, I'm kidding.
Let's not talk about Hallmark. This is all about grotesquerie.
I'm just teasing. Obviously a big night,
Yeah.
big series, but there's somebody special in this series. Tell me a little bit about that.
You mean about Travis?
Yeah, of
okay.
course.
I don't know much about it. He's kept me in the dark about this. It's no pun intended on the movie, but basically, Trav is kind of quiet when it comes to things like this that mean a lot to him, and he's kind of just trying to dip his toe into the pond.
Now, obviously, you got some acting coming up. Has he asked you for any advice?
Oh, no. Boys don't ask their moms for advice. They just don't do that. Or they shouldn't, because I think they can get better advice from professionals that are all around them. So I don't give advice. I really don't.
How does it make you feel, obviously, Jason and Travis, the success they had on the field, but even more so with New Heights
Yeah.
and what they've done in the mainstream? How proud are you?
It's awesome, but let me tell you, it wasn't funny when they were growing up, sitting at the Thanksgiving tables and things like that. Because there were times when you're supposed to be, calm, and that just never happened. But it turned out great.
How does it, like all of this success and fame that's coming around you, how is that, what was the adjustment? I mean, you're hobnobbing with your son's girlfriend, who's probably the most famous person on the planet. How does that feel? Have you adjusted to that?
You know what? I try to find out people's qualities and just admire them for what they do and what they are. And there's nothing really in particular. It's just a really decent human being that I really admire.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Johnny, please.
Nicholas, right here.
Nicholas, over the shoulder. Over the shoulder. I like your shot too before we move.
Nicholas, right here.
One last one here.
One more this way.
Woman right here. Woman right here. Straight ahead. Nice eye contact. Thank you so much. Awesome. You look fantastic.
Eyes right next to her. The beautiful headshot. Eyes right next to her.
Hey, right in front of you, please.
Okay, Sherry.
Right on the end of the
Right here, Michaela.
Almost there, that's it.
Number 3.
Sherry right here.
And look at her here.
Sherry right here. Like this. Right your back. And one last time.
Or the other side, the other shoulder. Eyes right here.
Thank you. That's better.
And chair back here like that.
Over the shoulder this way. Yeah. And over the shoulder right here.
All the way back. Hi, Shari. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Eyes right here. Right here.
Hi, Shari.
Good seeing you.
I like that shirt and those glasses.
Thank you.
Ready?
You're ready.
I am ready.
And roll it back.
Okay, here we are, man. I thought American Horror Story was pretty scary, but this takes it to the nth degree.
Do you know that, or you're hoping, or you're fishing?
I'm fishing.
Fishing, yeah,
I'm
because I've
fishing.
seen nothing. Have
I'm
you
fishing.
seen anything?
No, I'm
Okay,
fishing, man.
I've heard.
That's what I've heard.
I've heard Ryan has said that Ryan has just told us this is very personal for him. So if it's very personal for him, he's put everything in it. That means it's going to be really scary. So.
Now, it also deals with, I'm told, a lot of contemporary issues mirroring the story. Tell me a little bit about that, or what you can tell me.
Well, the contemporary issues are dealing with us, our my wife's issues, niece's issue, drinking. Our daughter's issue, Raven, is dealing with obesity, and then of course there's the big issue, which is the mental wellness of our family structure is really challenged. Niece's character is trying to solve horrific murders, and from this Grotesquerie character, and she should be able to come home and be at peace. There's no peace, so it just starts to build and build on her. So we're not helping at all. We can do better.
And then lastly, Ryan, whenever Ryan tackles these modern stories, he does it with a real approach, an approach to the real world, how the world looks, how the world sounds and acts. How refreshing is that, or did you notice that difference?
Well, I think he's dealing with a lot of the world is pretty chaotic now. Things are being unleashed, or have been unleashed. One of our presidential candidates is just his view of America and the world is very dark, and so he and his other writers are trying to explore that, which is fair game. It's as we tumble into this election. I believe our last episode airs on the 30th of October, just before we go in to close those curtains behind us. So we'll see. It's he's ready. He's been waiting for this. So strap on your seatbelts.
Well, I can't wait, man. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, Ryan Murphy. We cannot. The guy in the hat. The guy. That's the creator right there.
With the that's really good. Probably at the very beginning of my career, probably 50 about Ryan. I was interested, knew a lot about horses when I wanted to run sequencing or something, like something dumb like that. Probably.
If you had to be a haunted house actor, what kind of monster would you be? I like to switch it up.
Well, my friend Sarah Paulson and I talk about this a lot. She's obsessed with haunted houses because she's so scared. I like to jump scare people. I like anybody who comes at you with an axe, a paper axe. It's very primal, your reaction. I love that. I also love haunted houses, which I loved as a kid. When you put your hand into something and it's like supposed to be eyeballs, like gooey fish eyes. I love that. I love anything.
I wonder how they made what action.
I don't think sometimes they were little eggs, quail eggs. I don't know.
Now, who are you? I'm actually very curious asking this. Who are your top 3 screaming movies? Oh my God.
Jamie Lee Curtis, my friend Jamie Lee, 100%. Sarah Paulson.
10? Does anyone answer anything other than 10 when they get asked this question? No, it's definitely a 10. I mean, when I read these scripts, I was like, geez, this is the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
There you go.
The next one for you. How would you
Yeah, one for you. She's not watching. One for Alicia, though. She'll know. She'll know.
Incredibly disturbing, but you're not going to be able to look away from it. You should watch Grotesquerie if you're a little messed up. My name is Nicholas Alexander Chavez, and can I try this one more time? My name is Nicholas Alexander Chavez, and FX's Grotesquerie is now streaming on probably Hi.
What's going on, Nicholas? How you
How's
doing,
it going?
man?
Doing well.
All right, here we are, man. Exciting night.
Yeah.
This show, I'm told, scary as hell, and mirrors a lot of what we see in society. How correct is that assumption?
You know, that's an interesting question. I play a character that's been dropped into this world. For the ways in which it mirrors society, I feel like that's honestly a better question for Ryan and the creators of the show.
Uh-huh. So tell me about your character then.
I play Father Charlie, who's tasked with trying to keep this community together in the midst of some really, really horrific murders. And what I found really, really fun about playing this character is that he seems to relentlessly and aggressively pursue his own self-interest at any cost. And it's always fun when you get to play a character like that.
So that's a little bit, now he's a priest, right?
Correct.
So he's a self-centered priest?
He's a priest who relentlessly pursues his own self-interest, for sure.
So, and that's a lot of fun to play.
I would say so, yeah. I had a lot of fun playing the character.
Working with Ryan in the world that he creates, which mirrors just the look of the outside world in its inclusiveness. How refreshing is that?
I think Ryan is such a brilliant mind. You know what I mean? He tells these stories with such intention, and it's always a privilege to be a part of a Ryan Murphy project.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I cannot say who she is. She says she watched the show and that she had a completely different view of what she thought when she went in. And I thought, okay, well, then I do my job. And that's the whole point of it, to be a provocateur and to talk about the whole show. I'm not asking you anything other than to watch it. By the end of it, you'll notice that show in particular. It's complicated because we present all sides and we make it hard for you to do your own logic. And I think people don't like that, and I think I really understand all sides of it. So when you ask me why I don't, my motto is, never complain, never explain. That's what I like to do.
Tonight.
Yes, I'm having thank you for that question. I'm having so much fun, and it's my first big TV premiere. Nisi just walked in the room. It's a joy.
Now, obviously, your role in this one is a little interesting.
Yes.
You play a nun who's kind of a journalist.
Yes.
Kind of helps solve stuff. Tell me a little bit about her.
Yeah, she's a nun and a journalist who kind of ends up involved in Lois's case because of her useful knowledge on the murders that have a real religious undertone and reference to them. And they become kind of these unlikely friends. And I think Sister Megan's really, destructively obsessed with the question of are we good or evil? And I think feels guilt. I think sometimes when we're quite literally veiled in holiness, there's a temptation to sin that makes it more confusing.
Now with Ryan, there's always a subtext. There's an inclusiveness and there's a subtext to the story. With this particular telling, it's a lot of horror, but it's also a mirror to what real families go through outside of the grotesquerie.
What's beautiful is there's the horror of what's happening in this small town community, of this string of terrible, grotesque murders. And then there's also the horror of what's happening in the Tryon family. And, the kind of very difficult mother-daughter, father-daughter, mother-father relationships. And I think that is a real human thread throughout this story.
And then lastly, working with Ryan, you know, I know your co-star Ben has also worked with Ryan.
Yes.
Did he give you some tips, and what was the experience like of doing a Ryan Murphy joint?
Yes, I talked to Ben, I talked to Sarah Paulson, and they both had similar advice. I think they both really were just like, play the stakes of the world that he creates. I think that's really important and valuable, and you know, he's such a world builder, so you just gotta like jump off the cliff and meet him where he created, you know.
That is brilliant. That's a great answer.
Thank
you so much.
So
Pleasure.
nice to meet you. Yeah.
Can you stay right there, or would you look at the first shot when you do this? That would fine.
You should watch Grotesquerie if you are a fan of any person in the case, because they do not disappoint. Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Pleasure seeing you again.
Hi.
Okay, and rolling.
Okay, Ryan does two things great. He tells great horror stories, and he really reflects the world that we're living in. In this particular show, we see a horror and we see a family struggle. Tell me how you balance the two and how refreshing it was.
First of all, yes, you do get to see the family. You do get to see horror, but there's also social commentary that is weaved through about just the sign of the times. So Ryan is brilliant that way. I don't know how his mind works, but because I trust him so much, he will forever have me at hello.
Last question, I know you got to go in. What was the scene that scared you the most? What can you tell me?
Oh, the scene that scared me the most was the one that I did with no makeup on. That was extra scary.
Thank you.